Let's go explore the abandoned jail cell of the former Camp Nepaug in Burlington, Connecticut. This is a fascinating structure located in the massive Nassahegon State Forest. The adventure begins by traveling along Stone Road in Burlington, Connecticut. This road cuts through the 1,352-acre Nassahegon State Forest. This state forest is home to some great hiking trails, fishing, bird watching, hunting, and more. Oh yeah, also there's some pretty cool abandoned structures. As you can see here, this is an abandoned building which was actually once part of Camp Nepaug. So I've never actually met anyone who has been here before, so I kind of was exploring this place pretty much blind. As you can see here, super interesting structure. This, I believe, used to be the holding cell or the jail of the camp. We'll get into what the camp was in a few minutes, but this was a really, really cool old building to check out. You can see there's still bars on the windows. The roof is not in great shape. There's definitely a few openings, so I was glad to at least check it out while it was pretty complete. As you can see here, checking out the bars. Most of the windows have bars, a few don't. And overall, this building's not too big. Seems like it would just have held a few people. You can see that support beam on the top left right there, pretty cool. And overall, the walls are in, pretty good shape, all things considered. Obviously, some graffiti has got to this place, but overall, not too bad. So yeah, this is an inside look at the building. Super, super cool old structure, and the history behind this place is amazing. I guess there are a couple more foundations and structures found throughout these woods, but I didn't have the time, sadly, to explore them today, so I'll definitely be back another time. So Camp Nepaug was the first camp set up by the Federal Transient Bureau, and according to a local newspaper article from April 1934, this agency was created to stop the wanderings of persons, particularly of men and some boys, from place to place, always hoping they'll get a new job in the next town. Remember, this was during the Great Depression of the 1930s, so many people were homeless and were not able to find work. Camp Nepaug solved this problem by providing work, shelter, and food for older single men to keep them from moving town to town in search of work. The men cut firewood, built forest trails, and did other work in exchange for the housing, food, and a very small salary. The rules were pretty simple at Camp Nepaug: no handouts, and 24 hours of work per week were required. Men would get a clean bed in return and 3 meals a day, along with that small salary mentioned before. This was the life for hundreds of men sent to the camp in the wilds of Burlington in the 1930s. If one of these men did ever start a fight or get too drunk, they would be sent to this jail right here. This holding cell would allow them to sober up and calm down before they got back into the camp. Obviously, there was a bunch of people coming to the camp from all different backgrounds, and so some conflicts definitely broke out, and this was where the bad apples would be sent. So along with this holding cell, there were also 2 barracks, a dormitory, an ice house, an incinerator, a garage, pump house, director's home, log cabin, dining hall, classroom, and a few more structures. I believe there are some more structures down this trail, but sadly I turned around. As I was saying before, I was on a bit of a time limit, and I didn't quite know where I was going. I kind of just walked out here, but didn't see anything yet. I guess I could have continued, but didn't want to get lost and spend too much time here. And then you're probably wondering who built this camp and who managed it. So it was built and managed by the Works Progress Administration, also known as the WPA, which employed millions of American men and women during the Depression. It was a program started by FDR. The WPA mostly focused on employing young individuals. So it was kind of interesting. It was the young people who were managing and building this place, while kind of like the older unemployed people would be the ones working here. So I guess they were actually employed from this camp. But yeah, so kind of interesting getting a lot of people out and working during the Great Depression. This definitely played a big role in that. The camp was shut down in 1936, and no plans were made for the men remaining at the camp. So they were actually taken to the nearby city of Hartford and left on the streets to fend for themselves. That's a pretty rough way to end things, but yeah, this camp shut down pretty abruptly. I believe it was because of budget cuts, and also I believe the state found a new use for the camp. So from 1936 to 1943, the National Youth Administration leased the buildings and ran a program called Nepaug Village. Young men ages 18 to 25, most from cities, would apply to spend 5 months from late spring to early fall at Nepaug. Nepaug Village provided a combination of work, training, school, and recreation. The young men would work for half the day in the woodworking shop, machine shop, or kitchens. They would then have the other half day for studying or having fun. There was a baseball diamond added, and the camp also hosted some dances. The buildings remained mostly the same as what the camp had before, but they were just repurposed for this National Youth Administration program. So yeah, I think that may have happened after the official Camp Nepaug was shut down. It kind of became this Nepaug Village for young men. So very interesting kind of second life. And then after 1943, this place, I believe, was officially abandoned, and the state, I think, raised some of the buildings that were here and just left like a chimney, some foundations, and then for some reason left this jail cell building completely, basically untouched. So I'm super glad they did, because this is a super cool piece of history just sitting right off the side of Stone Road here in Burlington, Connecticut. So definitely check out Camp Nepaug if you're in the area, and if you love just history and abandoned spots. This was super, super cool. If you enjoyed this video, definitely subscribe, like, comment, and check out my other social media accounts. Thank you so much for watching. I'm always looking to explore the most interesting places around New England, so definitely stay tuned for more. Waterfalls, abandoned spots, lighthouses, historic spots, you name it, I'll be there.